accident over the weekend in Beaumont, where it happened and what we know about the victim.
Plus, residents in Cheek, they are still pushing against that planned carbon capture project. The meeting being held this evening to voice their concerns to state and local leaders.
And we're following new tensions in the Caribbean this morning as the U.S. military escalates its show of force off the coast of Venezuela. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Good morning and happy Monday. Thanks for waking up with Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. It's 7:01, so let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber as we take a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. And you see why it's being called a dense fog advisory here as we look at the skies of orange. Jeff Gerber standing by with more details.
Yeah, that dense fog advisory goes until 9 o'clock this morning. You can see visibilities around 1/3 of a mile for Beaumont and Orange, 0 in Port Arthur, and about 1/3 of a mile up in Jasper. So be careful, give yourself a little extra time to get out and going for this morning. That weather impact for this morning is that dense fog advisory till 9. Some widespread dense fog out there. Visibilities in some spots less than 1/4 of a mile. So give yourself a little time to get where you're going. Our day planner shows that temperature is going to be climbing up into the lower 80s as we head towards the afternoon once the fog burns off, and we'll see partly cloudy skies for this afternoon. We'll also see a little bit of a south wind at about 5 to 10, so a little bit of a south breeze out there should help clear out things also for this morning. We do see rain chances in our 7-day forecast. We'll let you know what days those are on coming up in weather in just a little bit.
All right, Jeff. Well, a woman was killed over the weekend here in Beaumont. Police say that she was hit by a car while walking along the interstate.
Yeah, this happened early Sunday morning in the 400 block of I-10 North at Calder. Police say they received calls of a woman walking in the roadway. About 4 minutes later, another call came in saying she'd been hit. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. A press release states one of the drivers is cooperating with investigators, but doesn't clarify how many vehicles were involved. We're working to confirm those details. The victim's name won't be released until next of kin has been notified. Now to Port Arthur, where the city has shut down its water treatment plant this morning so crews can make repairs and improvements.
Yeah, city officials, they said this could mean limited water service as they work. Now that shutdown, it started about 30 minutes ago and it should last until noon. Now the city is asking residents to conserve water for now and only use what's necessary for essential needs. We'll let you know once service is fully restored. Port Arthur ISD officials, they say the classes, they're not going to be disrupted by these repairs. And a meeting is going to be held this evening in Jefferson County as residents in Cheek are sounding the alarm about a proposed ExxonMobil carbon capture project.
Earlier this summer, they spoke out at a Texas Railroad Commission hearing, raising concerns about injection wells that would be placed near their homes. Now they're asking elected leaders to meet with them and hear their safety concerns. In a letter, the Cheek, Texas Community Association points to risks like pipeline ruptures and explosions, including a 2020 incident in Satarsha, Mississippi, that sent more than 40 people to the hospital. They're also concerned about potential threats to drinking water and chemicals leaking from poorly maintained wells.
So we want to protect our community. We would love for this to be in an area not inhabited by people. We've heard a lot of different things from scientists that says, you know, the way they projected things to go is not exactly the way they're going to, you know.
Organizers have invited several officials, including Beaumont Mayor Roy West, State Representative Christian Manuel, and Senator Ted Cruz, to today's meeting. It's from 6 to 8 at St. Martin de Porres Catholic Mission of Cheek. That's on Boyd Road in Beaumont. Experts on carbon capture will also speak about possible risks tied to the project.
Governor's race already heating up with primaries in March in our sister station in Austin. Sitting down with two candidates for governor running in the Democratic primary. Chris Bell is a former congressman and a Houston City Council member, and Andrew White is a businessman and the son of former Texas Governor Mark White. Andrew is calling himself an independent Democrat. This was his response when asked what that means.
So an independent Democrat is someone who will unite the progressives and the moderates of our party together and then invite independents into our party. Because we've got to make the big tent a little bigger if we're going to win in November.
And former Congressman Chris Bell, the newest face in the Democratic primary for governor, explains where he falls on the political spectrum.
I think people would say I am a moderate. I'm progressive on social issues. I can be quite conservative on a lot of fiscal issues. I don't think we should be spending money that we don't have.
The primaries in March and the gubernatorial election is going to be held next November 2026.
All right, your time is 7:05. Across the nation, the body of a 7-year-old girl has been found after she was swept into the ocean at a beach in Big Sur. A diver spotted her in the water and brought her to shore. Sadly, her father died trying to save her. Marianne Favreau reports.
These were the conditions at Garapata State Beach Sunday when scuba diver Juan Heredia pulled a 7-year-old girl from the water. He says he first spotted her hair in the choppy water and waded in.
I was able to walk inside the water with water to my wrist level, and that's how I was able to grab her and take her out of the waves.
Juan recovered the girl about half a mile north of where a powerful wave swept her into the ocean Friday. Her father, 39-year-old Yuji Hugh of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, jumped into the water to try to save his daughter, but he later died. The girl's mother went in too, but was overtaken by the surf. She ultimately made it back to shore and was hospitalized with mild hypothermia and released. The couple's other daughter, a 2-year-old, was on the beach and safe. The search for the 7-year-old continued by air, water, and foot. Juan says when he learned of the search, he jumped in his car and drove 3 hours from Stockton to help.
So I came with all my intention to find her, and I was lucky that I was able to bring closure to the family.
Juan, who's a scuba instructor, runs a nonprofit called Angels Recovery Dive Team. He says he's recovered the bodies of more than a dozen people who have drowned. The father of 2 says he just wanted to help the grieving family visiting in Big Sur.
I tried to be in their shoes when this accident happened, and any parent will like to have their babies back home as soon as possible.
That was Marianne Favreau reporting. Meanwhile, we're also following new tensions in the Caribbean as the U.S. military escalates its show of force off the coast of Venezuela.
Yeah, our military carrying out another attack on alleged drug smugglers under orders from the current administration. Here's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio with those details.
This morning, President Trump says the U.S. may hold talks with Venezuela's authoritarian president, Nicolas Maduro.
We may be having some discussions with Maduro, and we'll see how that turns out. They would like to talk.
It comes as the U.S. mounts a show of force in the region. The Navy releasing this image showing the world's largest and most advanced aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, arriving in the Caribbean. It's joined by 3 destroyers, a B-52 bomber, and multiple fighter jets. More than a dozen warships and 15,000 troops are already in the region, part of what the Pentagon has branded Operation Southern Spear. And now the State Department has announced it's designating another cartel as a foreign terrorist organization, even accusing Maduro of leading it himself. The administration releasing this video of its 21st airstrike on alleged drug smuggling boats. President Trump has threatened to go further and strike on Venezuelan soil. But Maduro over the weekend calling for peace, singing the John Lennon song, Imagine.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And when asked if he plans to seek congressional approval before any potential military action against Venezuela, President Trump said that he plans to keep lawmakers informed, but he's not going to ask for their approval. In other news, the family of Reverend Jesse Jackson released a statement Sunday clarifying some inaccurate media reports about his medical condition. They incorrectly stated that he was on life support. His family wants to clarify that the Reverend is in stable condition and breathing on his own. He continues to manage progressive supranuclear palsy under the care of doctors. Well, coming up next here on 12 News Daybreak, Black Friday. It's right around the corner. Why it may look a little different for Texas shoppers this year. And still ahead here on 12 News Plus, a now viral job applicant addresses what's wrong with his 15 minutes of fame. Your trending news is coming up. Your time is 7:09.
Share your pics and video with 12 News. Just go to the Near Me tab inside the 12 News Now app and click Share with Us. To the spot welders and forklift drivers, to the pipeline technicians and plant operators, to the chemists, custodians, and contractors, and the engineers, pilots, and wellhead pumpers. To the people working day after day, keeping our Power City rolling, 12 News is telling your stories.
Extended the temporary restraining order.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue, filtering out rumors, and giving you the facts, direct from inside sources.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers.
Taking on the story from all sides and all angles with award-winning coverage.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, "Don't mess with Texas" means don't litter.
It's time to honor our local educators with the 12 News Golden Apple Awards. Once a month, 12 News will surprise an educational staff member who has gone above and beyond to make a positive impact on the lives of Southeast Texas students. Nominate your educator by going to 12newsnow.com/Golden Apple to do your part in showcasing the heroes that make a difference both inside and outside the classroom. The Golden Apple Awards every month on 12 News.
From Dallas to Houston, San Antonio to Austin, it's the news that moves all of Texas. Texas News Now. One power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. No matter where you're headed, across town or across the state, we've got Texas covered. Texas News Now, weekdays, noon, only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Well, Black Friday's coming up, but it could look a little different for some shoppers this year due to tariff-related price hikes. Hallie Spilliards explains.
If you're starting to plan your holiday shopping, you should know that consumer experts say Black Friday is going to look a little different this year. Come on, we're going to go find out why.
The tariffs came. I think everyone didn't know what was coming next. We were negotiating with our factories, trying to lower costs on that end, and then also raise costs a bit for our customers to help mitigate the overall price we had to pass on.
That's Jeremy and Lila Stewart.
So this is our amazing slipper line.
The founders of Dallas-based flip-flop brand Hari Mari. This past August, tariffs on Chinese imports led them to raise prices anywhere from $10 to $15 a pair. So while they'd never forego their annual Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale,
oh my gosh, it's crucial.
This year they're rethinking it.
These are our gift with purchases.
Skipping discounts for top sellers and doing what they can to offset a discount that doesn't dip as low as it once did.
Given this has been a different year for sure, we've started a new promotion. It's actually running right now, and it's something that we normally don't do and we haven't done before in terms of what we're offering, which is a gift with purchase. So hopefully for any of those consumers that might be a little upset about the price increase, we're adding a little bit of an extra value.
According to some recent headlines, Hari Mari is not alone. In a recent Bloomberg report shared by our partners at the Dallas Morning News, they named 6 major retailers also cutting back on promotions this year. And CNBC also recently reported that the holidays are when consumers will start to feel the impact of tariffs. They say that's because many stocked up ahead of duties, absorbing some of that early impact.
While the upcoming season is still uncertain, Hari Mari not only survived the pandemic, but grew.
I feel like if a business, a brand, personal families can weather a storm like that, then now it's, the conversation is not as big.
The Stewarts have faith. They'll weather this one too.
We've come such a long way.
And that was Allie Spilliards reporting. Black Friday, it's just 11 days away on November 28th.
We've been dealing with some fog out there for this morning. Starting to break up a little bit, though. These readings were at the top of the hour, so some of these are not quite as low as they are right now. But you can see 0.3 of a mile basically through the entire area from Jasper, Beaumont, and Orange and Port Arthur, all showing about 0.3 of a mile. We do have a dense fog advisory until about 9 o'clock for this morning with some widespread dense fog out there. Visibilities are low. Just give yourself maybe a few extra minutes to get there, because here's what it looks like outside our 12 News studio. Earlier this morning, we could barely see I-10, so definitely looking a little bit better across the area as that fog starting to lift. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing, of course, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. Temperature-wise, we're starting to see temperatures into the middle 60s right now. 65 in Beaumont, 65 in Orange, 67 in Port Arthur. Kirbyville's at 66, Jasper 68, 69 in Woodville, showing 70 right now in Silsbee. Still some cloud cover moving through for today. I think we'll go with partly cloudy skies for this afternoon once the fog burns off. And we won't see any rain today. We have a front to our north that's producing a little bit of wet weather through Arkansas, but that's about it. As we look at our futurecast, showing temperatures climbing up from the 70s to about 80 at lunchtime, and then we'll get into the lower 80s through the afternoon with partly cloudy skies. 70s for most of the evening, 60s by late in the evening, and we're looking at temperatures dropping back down to the middle to upper 60s once again for tomorrow morning, maybe some lower 60s towards the lakes. So our forecast for today, just partly cloudy skies this afternoon, dry with south winds at 5 to 10, and temperatures going to be there around 81 to about 83. And then for tonight, temperatures anywhere from the lower 60s for places like Burkeville, Newton, to some middle 60s for a good portion of the area, and could see some upper 60s as you head down towards the coast with those mostly cloudy skies. 7-day forecast shows more of the same on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be around 83, 84, dry weather with generally partly cloudy skies. And then Thursday, we bring in a chance for a few showers. Thursday, as the storm system approaches, as it moves through on Friday, we'll go about a 40% coverage of some scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. And behind this storm system, we'll finally see some cooler temperatures, feeling a little bit more like the season. As we head towards Saturday and Sunday, we'll see temperatures dropping back into the 70s. So our normal high for this time of year, about 72, 73. So we'll see numbers a little bit closer to that by Sunday. And morning lows as well. We go from 60s all week long to finally the middle 50s as we head into Sunday morning.
I'm glad to see these temperatures are becoming a lot more fall-like here for South.
Well, let's hope it sticks around for a little while.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. It doesn't seem to last long.
Not at all.
No. Well, we're so close to the Gulf. It's easy for us to jump to 80 in the afternoon. I remember one Christmas, we were in about 85 or 86 for Christmas Day. So it can get warm, yeah.
Unacceptable.
I agree. All right. Just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. 7:18 right now. Time for some trending news. Well, avert your eyes. I don't know if we can show this on TV. Cheetos and Doritos are going naked.
Okay. PepsiCo is launching new versions of the popular chips that won't have artificial flavors or dyes. This means they'll have a more pale yellow color instead of the bright orange we're used to. The company says Simply Naked snacks will taste just like the originals, which will still be available. You can get Doritos, nacho cheese, and Cool Ranch flavors, and Cheeto Puffs and Flamin' Hot flavors. They hit the store shelves next month.
Natural Doritos, just as the good Lord intended.
To try it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not? All right, the short-form video platform, once famous for its 6-second loops, has been rebooted.
Yeah, the Vine app, now called Divine, is launching with a twist aimed at keeping AI out of the feed. It brings back more than 100,000 restored clips from the original archive, and it's banning AI-generated content using verification tools to make sure that every upload comes from a smartphone. Now, users, they can reclaim old accounts, and they can even request takedowns of past clips. Ex-owner Elon Musk also teased a Vine revival, but hasn't released a public version. And last week, we told you about a job candidate named Scott Kelly, and his now viral moment at a Jonas Brothers concert.
Yeah, well, guess what? The concert he technically was not at. Here's ABC's Danny New.
thanks to this moment, millions of people are now obsessed with the resume of one man, Scott Kelly.
Monday, I got a message from a buddy of mine while I was sitting in class saying, "Hey, dude, you're going famous on TikTok."
This video was taken by Jen Wilson at a Jonas Brothers concert in Buffalo last week.
It was not the place that you would normally see something like that, in my opinion.
When she and her friend noticed that the man in front of them was, instead of singing along, scrolling through a PDF of this Army veteran's job history.
I thought to myself, like, this is the stuff you see on the internet. Like, this isn't something you see in real life. And also, we're at a Jonas Brothers concert.
A week later, the video now has more than 50 million views on TikTok, with commenters rooting for Scott's prospects. Even Nick Jonas trying to hype up Scott, saying his work ethic and critical thinking inspired one of their song lyrics. Even though, brace for this, Scott says he had never actually heard of the Jonas Brothers.
I'm not judging. There are things I don't know all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you not know who they were?
Yeah, pop culture has never been my strong suite.
Not only that, Scott says he had not actually applied for any jobs. His resume had just gotten into the hands of another veteran named Brandon, who tries to hire local veterans in the area. In fact,
he and I served in the Army together, actually way back in the day. We found out going back through our,
Well, Scott has also made some new friends, too, getting to actually hang out with the Jonas Brothers after appearing on The Tonight Show together on Friday.
Got a selfie together, and they said, "Hey, if you ever want tickets, we're going to stitch you up with our team."
And he now is a connection for life with Jen, whom he chatted with over video for the first time during our interview.
I am grateful for Jen, and I think a lot of good's ultimately going to come of this whole thing.
So in case I wasn't clear, Scott says he is happily employed, but his LinkedIn has been blowing up. And, quote, "It's hard to ignore good opportunities," so he is reading the messages a little bit. But again, happily employed. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
I don't even know what to say.
Is no one going to address the fact that they were spying over their shoulder?
Right, like, get out my business.
Screen stalker. I just looked that up on ChatGPT.
That's why I have that privacy screen on my phone, because of people that snoop just like that.
Anyways, glad it worked out for him.
Yeah, right. All right, it's 7:22. Looks like the fog is starting to disappear. Jeff will be back with your forecast.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business. Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
It's time to honor our local educators with the 12 News Golden Apple Awards. Once a month, 12 News will surprise an educational staff member who has gone above and beyond to make a positive impact on the lives of Southeast Texas students. Nominate your educator by going to 12newsnow.com/Golden Apple to do your part in showcasing the heroes that make a difference both inside and outside the classroom. The Golden Apple Awards, every month on 12 News.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
We're working to get more information from Beaumont Police.
Join 12 News weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m., keeping you informed on what matters most.
And keep you safe when weather impacts your day.
Following the excitement with your team.
Covering local issues that matter in your community.
Watch 12 News at 6 and 10 p.m. and stream on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back. A massive fire erupted over the weekend at a decommissioned power plant near Bay Cliff. That's just east of League City. The fire started just before 3 Sunday morning at the former Robinson plant, covering homes and cars in smoke and ash. Texas City Emergency Management says the structure is 95 to 98% wood.
Yeah, that fire, it was contained to the former plant, and there have been no reported injuries. Our sister station in Houston captured the scene Sunday and caught the moment that one of the buildings, you see it right there, came crashing down to the ground. These photos from Alvin and Kemah firefighters, they showed the smoke up close. It was so thick, authorities called for a temporary shelter in place for residents in San Leon as a precaution. Now, the old plant, it's off of State Highway 146. People who live nearby say that they worried about how the fire could impact their lives. We'll keep you updated on any new developments.
At the bus stop this morning, very foggy, but that's starting to break up a little bit, but still be careful. Don't get too close to the road out there. 65 to start off this morning, 78 at recess, warm, and then warm on the way home with temperatures in the lower 80s. Coastal marine forecast for today, a southeasterly wind at 5 to 10 knots, seas about 2 feet. Next high tides coming in this afternoon at about 3:10. Our sunrise at 6:44 this morning. Our sunsets at about 5:19 for this evening. So we've already passed our sunrise, and that sunset getting earlier and earlier. Texas Point conditions, southeasterly winds at around 7 miles per hour. Water temperature there in the lower 70s. Look for a light chop with some partly cloudy skies on the inland lakes and bays for today.
And coming up here on 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus, how long today's temporary treatment plant shutdown should last in Port Arthur and what it means for residents.
Plus, neighbors in Cheeks still pushing against a planned carbon capture project. The meeting being held this evening to voice concerns to state and local leaders.
And new fallout regarding the release of Jeffrey Epstein files and the major reversal from President Trump ahead of what's to come.
And your time now, 7:27. We'll have more news and weather in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for joining us here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong.
And I'm Tia Johnson. The time now 7:30. Let's take a look at your top stories this morning. First up, a man is recovering in Galveston after he was burned while retarring his roof in Beaumont. It happened Saturday at a home in the 4400 block of Folsom Drive. Beaumont Fire Deputy Chief Scott Wheat says the man fell in the tar, burning his hands, feet, back, and more, about 30 to 40% of his body. A medical helicopter had to land in the back parking lots of Calvary Baptist Church to get him. He's reportedly in stable condition.
Beaumont police trying to identify the suspects here, seen in this surveillance video. It was released Saturday on BPD's Facebook page. They say that these suspects robbed a building in the 500 block of Orleans Street earlier this month in downtown. You can see the 6 people walking through what looks like an office and rummaging through things. Now, we have reached out to the police for more information, but we haven't heard back.
Mary Bond is back in the Jefferson County Jail after a judge revoked her probation in a 2022 theft and fraud case. Judge John Stevens confirmed she was taken into custody Friday. Court records show Bond was accused of transferring more than $3,800 from Christian Manuel Hayes' campaign, where she worked until early 2022. A detective says she used routing and accounts numbers without permission, intending to defraud the owner. All right, let's take a live look outside now from our Roofing 911 Skycam network. Looking at that view in downtown, Jeff, seems like it's no longer foggy.
Well, in some spots there still is some fog around in other spots, so just be aware of that. You can see visibility starting to rise a little bit. 3 miles in Port Arthur, 2 miles in Orange, still showing about a half a mile visibility. You got to remember that's west of town at the municipal airport, so that's out there, a little open area, so a little bit foggier there, and then about 3 miles visibility up in Jasper. So weather impact, we still have that dense fog advisory until 9 o'clock. Some areas have already gotten rid of the fog, but there's still some fog lingering around, pretty dense in some spots, less than a quarter of a mile in some areas, so be careful out there. Here's the view from our 12 News studio. Also, earlier you couldn't even see the interstate, but now you can see it pretty clearly. So the fog is starting to lift in some spots. By the afternoon, we'll just see partly cloudy skies today. It's going to be warm. Temperatures up there into the lower 80s again, with south winds at about 5 to 15. We will see a little bit of a cool down as we head towards the weekend. Also, rain chances come later on this week. We'll look at those all in our 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Jeff. A woman was killed over the weekend in Beaumont. Police say she was hit by a car while walking along I-10. It happened early Sunday morning in the 400 block of I-10 North at Calder. Police say they received calls of a woman walking in the roadway. About 4 minutes later, another call came in saying she'd been hit. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. A press release states one of the drivers is cooperating with investigators, but doesn't clarify how many vehicles were involved. We're working to confirm those details. The victim's name won't be released until next of kin has been notified.
Well, Port Arthur, they have shut down its water treatment plant this morning so that crews can make repairs and improvements. City officials say that it's going to mean limited water service as they work. Now, that shutdown, it started at 6:30 this morning and it should last until about noon. The city asking residents to conserve water for now and only use what's necessary for essential needs. We'll let you know once service is fully restored. Port Arthur ISD officials, they say that classes are not going to be disrupted by these repairs. And a meeting's going to be held this evening in Jefferson County as residents in Cheek are sounding the alarm about a proposed ExxonMobil carbon capture project.
Earlier this summer, they spoke out at a Texas Railroad Commission hearing, raising concerns about injection wells that would be placed near their homes. Now they're asking elected leaders to meet with them and hear their safety concerns. In a letter, the Cheek Texas Community Association points to risks like pipeline ruptures and explosions, including a 2020 incident in Satarsha, Mississippi, that sent more than 40 people to the hospital. They're also concerned about potential threats to drinking water and chemicals leaking from poorly documented wells.
So we want to protect our community. We would love for this to be in an area not inhabited by people. We've heard a lot of different things from scientists that says, the way they projected things to go is not exactly the way they're going to go.
Organizers have invited several officials, including Beaumont Mayor Roy West, State Representative Christian Manuel, and Senator Ted Cruz to today's meeting. It's from 6 to 8 at St. Martin de Porres Catholic Mission of Cheek. That's on Boyd Road in Beaumont. Experts on carbon capture will also speak about possible risks tied to the project.
Well, this morning, new fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein files. The House is scheduled to vote this week on legislation that could force the release of the full Justice Department files into the Jeffrey Epstein case. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details.
This morning, a major reversal from President Trump, now calling on Republicans to vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. The president posting on social media saying, quote, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax. The president's comments coming after he and House Speaker Mike Johnson went to great lengths to prevent the vote from happening. The House is expected to vote on a bill this week that could force the release of all the Justice Department files on Epstein. The bill's co-sponsors say the vote should receive overwhelming bipartisan support.
In 2030, he's not going to be the president, and you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files, and the president can't protect you then. This vote, the record of this vote, will last longer than Donald Trump's presidency.
Trump has faced pressure from his own party to follow through on a campaign promise to release the files, creating a rare split in the GOP. The most public came this weekend as Trump attacked his former ally, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her a lunatic and a traitor after she publicly supported releasing the files.
I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong.
The president claims at the time of Epstein's arrest in 2019 that he hadn't spoken with a notorious sex offender in 15 years.
I suffered so much pain.
As pressure mounts, this new video shows 8 Epstein survivors advocating for the release of the files.
I was 16 years old.
I was 16.
17. 14 years old.
The women holding photos of their younger selves, reciting their ages when they met Epstein.
It's time to bring the secrets out of the shadows.
And even if this legislation passes the House, it still has a very uncertain future in the Senate, where Majority Leader John Thune hasn't committed to giving it a vote. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Time now, 7:37. The O.J. Simpson estate has agreed to pay $58 million to the father of Ron Goldman decades after the infamous double murder. Malcolm Laverne, the executor of Simpson's estate, has accepted Fred Goldman's creditor claim totaling nearly $58 million plus ongoing judgment interest. According to TMZ, that amount was reached after negotiations between the estate and Goldman. Ron Goldman was killed alongside Simpson's ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson in June of 1994.
Well, now that the longest federal government shutdown in history has officially ended, lawmakers are still locked in a fierce battle over health care. While federal employees can return to work, the fight in Congress over health policy, it shows no signs of slowing down. Democrats, they still want to extend existing federal subsidies for some Affordable Care Act insurance plans. Senate Republicans already agreed to hold a separate vote on this, but House Republican lawmakers, they have not committed yet.
Am I going to guarantee a vote on ACA unreformed COVID-era subsidies that is just a boondoggle to insurance companies and robs the taxpayer? We got a lot of work to do on that.
The Affordable Care Act tax credits are scheduled to lapse on December 31st. And so we have about 45 days to get this done.
More than 24 million Americans, they rely on the Affordable Care Act for health insurance. Without congressional action, some households are going to see a spike in their premiums after December 31st.
Texas health officials say November SNAP benefits are on their way. The Texas Health and Human Services Commission says Texans who rely on that food assistance program are getting the full amount loaded onto their Lone Star cards. For recipients who usually get benefits on or after the 14th, expect the full payment on your typical date. If you only got a partial benefit this month, you can expect the rest of the monthly payment any day now.
Thanksgiving just 10 days away, and travelers already have a reason to be thankful. The FAA says that its flight cuts are going to end at 6 Eastern time this morning. Amy Kiley, she reports that the affected at least 4% of air traffic at 40 major airports.
I think we're going to have a smooth, hopefully, Thanksgiving travel season.
Airlines are resuming their normal schedules in the U.S. today. The FAA says it's lifting flight restrictions that affected 40 major airports during the government shutdown. A joint statement from that agency and the Transportation Secretary cites, quote, safety trends and the steady decline of staffing trigger events in air traffic control facilities.
It does appear that air traffic controllers are working. The callouts are minimal, and they're all getting bonuses now if they came to work. So I think the morale there is up, as well as the TSA.
Union leaders say it was hard for air traffic controllers to work full-time without pay during the shutdown.
The stresses, the pressure, the fatigue is setting in. Air traffic controllers are texting, I don't even have enough money to put gas in my car to come to work.
The news might be a relief for people flying over Thanksgiving weekend. That's the busiest air travel period of the year, according to TSA data. Experts say passengers should still check airline apps for delays or cancellations, but for more typical reasons.
I think the things we should be looking out for are weather-related incidents that could kind of throw the system out of whack, or outages. But overall, I think things are looking good.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Script.
And still ahead on Daybreak, Thanksgiving could cost more this year. How high grocery prices and tariffs may affect your holiday meal. Coming up, winter's on the way. We verify some common items on your seasonal to-do list.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you.
And together, we can make a difference.
Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, "Don't mess with Texas" means don't litter.
It's hard to really come to terms with dementia. There are little things that you can't even begin to plan for that happen that you need the early diagnosis for. My mom has done so much for me. There's no way that I wouldn't do the same for her. It's so important to have the conversation with your doctor earlier because you just do not know what the future holds.
Are you at the mercy of your bladder? If leaks are keeping you from living your best life, you should know that it doesn't have to be that way. Incontinence can be treated. Don't wait to get the help you deserve. The National Association for Continence is a nonprofit organization that's helped millions get on the path to a life without leaks. Visit nafc.org now to download your free pelvic floor muscle training kit and become the boss of your bladder.
Welcome back. Although the weather has been pretty mild here in Southeast Texas lately, we're at the time of year where some days are cold and others are downright warm. So you may be wondering if it's time to take care of those seasonal items on your to-do list. Megan Brack verifies.
Well, 'tis the season for that on again, off again heat as we deal with some cold days, but also some mild days. With these constant changing temperatures, there are some things you should be doing to keep your house and car going. So let's verify. Our source is David Undercuffler, editor-in-chief at Autolist, Firestone Complete Auto Care, our WCNC Weather Impact Team, and the Charlotte Fire Department. The first question, should you check your tire pressure when there's a cold snap?
You should definitely at least check your tire pressure when it gets cold outside. The general rule of thumb is that for every 10 degrees that the temperature drops, your tires lose about 1 psi.
Firestone Complete Auto Care says PSI means pounds per square inch. They say low tire pressure could lead to increased stopping time and you could skid more easily on wet pavement. So we can verify that yes, you should check your tire pressure when there's a cold snap. The next question, should you switch your fan setting to clockwise in the winter? Our WCNC Weather Impact Team explains that setting it clockwise helps push warm air trapped up high along the walls and eventually down to the floor. So we can verify that yes, you should switch your fan setting to clockwise in the winter. And finally, can you leave your space heater on when you go to bed? The Charlotte Fire Department says space heaters are one of the leading causes of house fires, especially when unattended. They say keep your heaters at least 3 feet away from anything that can burn, like bedding, furniture, and curtains. Also, turn them off if you leave the room or are going to bed. So we can verify that no, you should not leave your space heater on when you go to bed. Make sure to turn it off if it's unattended. With your Verified, I'm Megan Brown.
.45 now on this Monday morning, and visibilities are starting to loosen up a little bit out there. You can see right now 5 miles visibility in Orange, 3 in Port Arthur, over a mile now in Beaumont, and still a little foggy up there in Jasper with about a half a mile visibility. Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory that goes until 9 o'clock this morning. All areas are going to continue to see that fog till 9. A lot of areas the fog is lifted up a little bit, but there is some out there. Visibilities are low in some spots, so just be careful where you're going. If you live in one of those areas that's prone to see some foggy conditions, like up in Jasper, you'll see that. You can see still a little foggy up in Jasper on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. This camera brought to you by Provalis. Also seeing the same type of conditions over towards Orange a little bit. So yeah, there still is some fog out there. Be careful on the roadways early this morning. By this afternoon, the fog should break up and we'll be looking at partly cloudy skies. Mainly 60s to deal with this morning. A couple areas at 70, Silsbee and Woodville at 70, then 67 now in Beaumont, 68 Port Arthur, and 66 in Orange. Kirbyville's 66 and Jasper's at about 68. Weather map shows a warm front to our north that's brought in some of that warmer air, some clouds right across East Texas, back down along coastal Texas, mainly some high-level clouds there. North of the front, there are a few showers, but we won't see any rain for it today. We'll see temperatures warming up pretty quickly this morning through the 70s, up into the lower 80s for the afternoon, and then back into the 70s as we head towards the evening. So looking at lows tonight in the 60s with partly cloudy skies. Should be a nice mild overnight like we've seen. Maybe a little patchy fog tomorrow morning, but maybe not quite as widespread. So today, partly cloudy. We'll go south winds at 5 to 10 with highs in the lower 80s. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy. Temperatures back into the 60s with south winds at about 3 to 8. More of the same as we see today on Tuesday and Wednesday. By the afternoons, partly cloudy skies, highs in the 80s. We'll continue to see 80s Thursday and Friday as the storm system works through. That will give us a good chance, or at least a decent chance of some rain on Friday at 40%. And then behind that, looks like it's going to clear out. Some of the computer models we were looking at just yesterday showed a wet weekend, but now looking dry. Saturday and Sunday, we'll see temperatures back into the 70s and morning lows finally getting back into the 50s, near normal, about 55 on Sunday morning.
I know you're going to say you hope this rain on the forecast stays because we need it.
Yeah, we do need the rain. I don't care what day it is of the week now. We just need rain. We're well below for the year, and we have still burn bans in place for Jasper and Newton counties, so we need to get some rain in here.
Would some cold air help?
Yeah, it does help a little bit as far as the fire danger, but still, we need some moisture, some rain in the ground.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet.
All right, well, it's not even Thanksgiving, but you may already be seeing Christmas decorations in your neighborhood or wherever you shop.
My mom already started pulling hers out, and for many, it's a trend that starts earlier every year. As Susan Elizabeth Littlefield found out, it may be good for your health.
The sights, the sounds of November?
It's not right. You have to give Thanksgiving its due respect, right?
We just finished Halloween.
But for some, that means go time.
I plan on decorating very soon, and I might make my house into like a gingerbread house.
Here at the Stillwater shop, it's not even up for discussion.
It's Christmas all year round here.
And Katie Wolfart, the early decorations mean early revenue.
It's been good for business, and surprisingly, our sales are trending just up a little bit year over year.
Thanks to those early tree placements.
So you guys get in the spirit early?
Oh yeah.
This week I'll put it up. And I have 13 grandchildren. So my 13 grandchildren will decorate the tree.
And they are far from alone. A survey shows 30% of people asked are in full Christmas mode before December 1st. And 60% of adults asked say that people start celebrating the holidays earlier now than when they were kids.
Most people can't talk about the holidays without talking about emotion to some level.
And she would know. Amy Morin wrote this article for Psychology Today about why decorating early is a good thing.
There is research too that decorating can help us with collective anxiety. And so when you start to see your neighbors decorating and you start to see people talking about the holidays, it kind of makes us feel like we're all in something together.
And that's why she says this trend got a big boost 5 years ago.
So during the pandemic, we all knew we were in the same situation in terms of having to isolate ourselves. But it felt really good to suddenly be like, but we're all in this together, that it's the holidays. And that's the sort of thing that we want to do, is to start banding together with our communities to talk about the positive things. And overall, research shows it reduces that feeling of collective dread or collective anxiety that we have as a community. So during tough times, we're more likely to start decorating early.
So she says, let the good times roll.
It helps you to become more social, which brings us back to this idea that the more social you are, the happy you are. So there's no reason that you shouldn't decorate.
I love it. Bring out the trees. No shame.
Right?
That was Susan Elizabeth Littlefield reporting.
Well, McDonald's is bringing back something special to its menu. The fast food giant holiday pie returns for a limited time. The treat has a buttery crust that's glazed with sugar and features rainbow sprinkles. The pie is also filled with a creamy custard. Now, McDonald's debuted its holiday pie in 1999, quickly becoming a customer favorite. I had no idea.
Me either. All right. When Daybreak returns on 12 News Plus, we'll have more news and weather in your morning rush hour. The time now 7:51.
From Dallas to Houston, San Antonio to Austin, it's the news that moves all of Texas. Texas News Now. One power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. No matter where you're headed, across town or across the state, we've got Texas covered. Texas News Now, weekdays noon, only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
To the spot welders and forklift drivers, to the pipeline technicians and plant operators, to the chemists, custodians, and contractors, and the engineers, pilots, and wellhead pumpers. To the people working day after day, keeping our Power City rolling, 12 News is telling your stories.
Extended the temporary restraining order.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue, filtering out rumors, and giving you the facts, direct from inside sources.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers.
Taking on the story from all sides and all angles with award-winning coverage.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Southeast Texas is a Power City, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business. Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
Well, welcome back to Daybreak, 7:54 right now. It's time for your morning rush out.
Here's everything you need to know as you start your day. Police say a woman was killed early Sunday morning in Beaumont after she was hit by a car while walking along I-10 at Calder. She was pronounced dead at the scene. A press release states one of the drivers is cooperating with investigators but doesn't clarify how many vehicles were involved. We'll keep you updated as we confirm those details.
Port Arthur has temporarily shut down its water treatment plant today so that crews can make repairs and improvements. City officials say that this could mean limited water service as they work. It should be over by about noon. The city is asking residents to conserve water during this shutdown, and we'll let you know once the service has been fully restored.
A meeting will be held this evening as residents in Cheek sound the alarm about a proposed ExxonMobil carbon capture project. They're asking elected leaders to meet with them and hear their concerns. It's from 6 to 8 at St. Martin de Porres Catholic Mission of Cheek. That's on Boyd Road in Beaumont. Experts on carbon capture will also be there.
A little foggy, but the fog's burning off pretty quickly this morning. We'll see temperatures in the 80s today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and even some 80s on Thursday and Friday as the storm system pushes through the area. We're hoping it brings us a little bit of rain. We got a small chance of rain on Thursday, a better chance of rain on Friday. And then behind that, looks like it's going to be cooler for the weekend with highs in the 70s, lows in the upper 50s and the middle 50s.
Don't forget to send us your nominations for our Golden Apple Award. This can be a teacher, bus driver, custodian, anyone in the field of education. Just go to 12newsnow.com/Golden Apple.
All right, here's a reason to smile at those cute kitties. 4 cheetah cubs, they were recently born at the Smithsonian's National Zoo in Virginia. And the zoo was closed during the government shutdown, so they're now just sharing the news. The cubs, they were born to 5-year-old Amabala on October 17th, and it was all captured on the zoo's cheetah cub camera. There's a website on your screen if you want to keep an eye on their progress. How cute.
I was just thinking they're actually cute.
They're
so little.
They won't be little for long.
No,
watch out.
No, why you have to do that to me? Why you couldn't do it tomorrow?
I can't reach him, so
He getting too close.
Getting too close, Jeff. Watch yourself.
Right now.
All right, thanks so much for watching Daybreak here on 12 News Plus.
Jeff and I will be back for midday at 11.
Have a great day, everybody.